you want to stop Donald, I would ask you, stand with us. Let's unite and come together as a party and say, we're not going to nominate a New York City liberal who has supported liberal policies, who agrees with Hillary Clinton on issue after issue after issue.
That is presidential candidate Ted Cruz urging Republicans to unite against frontrunner Donald Trump. A number of high-profile Republicans have come out and publicly said that they will not vote for Donald Trump if he becomes the nominee. They say they'll either write in a candidate or they might even vote for Hillary Clinton instead. So that's what we call a pretty deep divide. Newt Gingrich is a former Speaker of the House, of course, and he is a Fox News contributor. Newt, good morning. Good to have you with us today.
Well, it's good to be with you.
So what do you think about Ted Cruz's statement there?
Well, I do think there's a pretty good chance that Cruz is going to come out of tonight as the most likely alternative because he's going to do very well in Texas. He could do well in Arkansas, maybe Minnesota. And I think he'll have substantially more delegates than Rubio. So I think Ted will have some claim to be the major alternative to Trump. But Trump will tower over all of them. The scale of his victories from Massachusetts and Vermont all the way across to Alaska is going to be pretty stunning. And really, for a guy who's only been in politics for 7 months, almost unimaginable. And I think that poses for the Republican establishment a very big challenge. For the next few weeks, there's going to be a frenzy to try to stop him. I don't think the frenzy will work. And if it doesn't, then both Trump and the Republican leadership, the traditional leadership, face a big decision. Do they want to turn this into a Goldwater campaign like 1964 and have the party get beaten badly? Or do they want to turn it into a Reagan campaign like 1980 and have the party win a stunning victory? There's no middle ground here. And I think Trump is about half of that decision. The other half of that decision is going to be the Republican leadership.
So interesting. You know, we were talking to Eric Trump before, and I think no matter where you stand on the pro-Trump or anti-Trump spectrum, and, you know, we're going to show actually some of the people who are on either side of that divide in a second, you have to acknowledge exactly what you just said, Newt, which is this stunning, turn everything up on its head performance by Donald Trump. Because people, let's talk as it is. I mean, people were laughing when he got into this race in the summer. And you cannot deny the incredible amount of attention that he has garnered with people around this country. But what Ted Cruz is raising here is he a conservative question? You know, when you go line by line and you look at all of these different things from Planned Parenthood on the way down, and you have people who say that he is not a conservative. And you have other people who say, I don't care what he is. I like what he stands for. So where does that leave the party in the end, Newt?
You know, I was with a group last week that used a quote from Gandhi, who said, first they ignore you, then they laugh at you, then they fight you, then you win. There's a certain parallelism here to what we're seeing happen.
Are you calling Trump Gandhi?
No, I'm saying Gandhi described what happens to movements, and the Trump movement may have that kind of experience.
Right.
I would say this to people. Trump, in the National Review sense, is not a traditional conservative. Donald Trump doesn't get up in the morning and read Hayek or Friedman or anything. Donald Trump is an anti-left, anti-political correctness, anti-stupidity American nationalist. And he applies those four basic principles to try to figure out where he's going and what he's going to try to do. Sometimes that makes him complicated for conservatives because they have these cookie-cutter, you are for this, you're not for that. And I think I have pretty good credentials as a conservative. But I also think we're in a historic moment when 70% of the voters in the last national poll favor Donald Trump, Ted Cruz, and Dr. Ben Carson. 70%. Now, that says that the Republican Party base is saying to its so-called leadership, you aren't leading the way we want you to, and by better than 2 to 1, they're now picking outsiders over insiders.
Yeah, I mean, that's the fact of what we've seen so far in these primaries, and we'll see what we see tonight. Just put up on the screen, you know, early supporters of Donald Trump include Scott Brown. Now you've got Governor Chris Christie and Jeff Sessions on with them as well, and these are the people who are leading the charge to try to convince other Republicans that it's okay to go into the water, as I said before. You've got the will support the nominee people, Paul Ryan and John McCain, who basically said they're Republicans and that they'll support the nominee no matter who it is. And then you've got those who say no matter what happens, they will never support Donald Trump, and that includes Mitt Romney, the former candidate, Ben Sasse, the senator from Nebraska, who has been very outspoken of late. Ken Cuccinelli is among those, and of course the entire National Review crowd. Nikki Haley has spoken out quite strongly against Donald Trump, but says that she will ultimately support the candidate. So,
sure.
You're so good at assessing this situation, and I just wonder what your feel is for where everybody goes.
What I would say is this, and I know the people you described, that you just mentioned pretty well. When they get to the crunch this summer, and they realize that you have two choices. You are going to elect Hillary Clinton, who would be, I think, the most corrupt president in American history, or you're going to help elect Donald Trump. There's no middle ground. I mean, you can't say virtuously, oh, I'm going to be neutral. If you're neutral, you're helping elect Hillary Clinton. I don't think there are very many Republicans or very many conservatives that are thinking about Hillary picking the next radical court, Hillary having disastrous foreign policies, Hillary having a total disaster in national security with her emails, Hillary being involved in the corruption of the Clinton Foundation, are going to say, oh, let's put her in the White House. And it's a moral case. A citizen who does not actively support the Republican candidate is, in effect, helping elect Hillary Clinton. I don't think very many of these folks in the end are going to help elect Hillary Clinton. So
are you putting yourself in the will endorse Donald Trump column,
no,
or the will support the nominee?
I have consistently said I will support the nominee, and I think Trump is very, very impressive. But I know Ted Cruz very well. I've known Marco since before he was Speaker of the House in Florida. John Kasich's like my younger brother. I was with him when we balanced the federal budget for 4 straight years. In fact, I think Clifton and I are going to go to his rally in Northern Virginia today. I voted, by the way. Everybody in these states, everybody in the states that are watching, go vote if it's your day for the primary.
All right, Newt Gingrich, pleasure to have you with us. Thank you very much.